Alright, so I hurt my back in 2015 on my birthday. And after that, the Boulder police just wouldn't leave me alone. I couldn't walk further than a block, so I was stuck being victimized. While people who were supposed to be my friends, like Josh Hughes and Veronica Randall, treated me like trash because I didn't have the means to do what it is that they wanted and expected from me. And they treated me like trash while I'm being harassed by the Boulder Police Department every night, averaging less than an hour of sleep per night. And I was bullied by my friends and the Boulder Police Department to the point of, well, I was gonna kill myself. And Natalie showed up that very day. She saved my life. Then we fast forward a bit. After doing as her and her sister asked, and then having a panic attack, and having my name slandered, and going through a whole year of hell while my friends did exactly the same thing. Bullied me for my emotions. Bullied me for asking them for help. Bullied me because they didn't want to hear what I had to say. They just wanted to talk over me and dispense advice like it was fucking candy. Here, I'm a Pez dispenser for advice. I don't know what the fuck is going on because I won't shut the fuck up, but here's some advice. Many of them were at the point of bullying, like Miss Peaches and A-Bear, who didn't take the time to listen but had plenty to say. So then let's fast forward to right before Natalie died. I'd been begging someone to shoot me in the head for over a year. I've been trying to trade my vehicle for enough pills to kill myself, to make a second attempt at what it is that I had intended on doing the day that Natalie came and rescued me from the Boulder Police Department and from the bullying by my friends. Well, this is the day that Miss Peaches finally stopped being a cold-hearted bitch and decided that she was actually going to help me. And, well, with Jeff Ritter being as slow as he could about an attorney and Kara Heller doing absolutely nothing, these are the people that I'm supposed to go to for help, right? These professionals. Meanwhile, all the professionals that I've encountered since then, they're just after money. They can't do anything to actually help me. They're not going to. They're going to waste my resources and their limited quantity, and they're also going to waste your tax dollars. That's all they're after, is money. So we spend billions a year on programs that make people drugged out of their fucking mind, but don't help to provide them with a safe place where they can function. But you want them to go to work for free anyway. You feel that they owe you anyway. They owe you this for being broke, and they owe you that for being broke, and they owe society all this shit because you waste money on government programs that all they do is give people more money. People who already have money, people who already have resources, the rich, the investors. And the laws are set up to protect those rich investors, not the patients, not the American people. It's set up to protect those in our government and their buddies, their biggest financial contributors. Well, I want to win re-election, so I'm going to take money from these drug companies and I'm going to give them a big kick down with some laws. That's pretty fucking gross. So let's fast forward again. Natalie ends up dead after I've been threatened, harassed, and assaulted repeatedly. I've tried to go to the police, who won't listen. I've tried going to my friends, who give me pretty words. Meanwhile, it's not occurring to them what's going on because they won't shut up. They won't stop dispensing advice. People like JoJo Taylor, and are also known as Joanna Taylor Smith, and people like Mark Swanigan. People just want to keep on dispensing their advice without finding out what's going on. Shannon Alvarado came in after Natalie was killed, and she just wouldn't shut the hell up. Like, every time that she said, all right, Sean, I'll call and I'll listen this time. And every single time she made it all about her. Until the last time we spoke on the phone, she actually listened. She didn't focus on 10,000 other people's things that she's interested in, her special interests. She actually sort of listened to me, which is very, very much what I needed her to do the very first time that I talked to her. Meanwhile, people want to judge me because I screamed at her twice. Meanwhile, I listened to her scream every single night. And it's okay for her, but it's not okay for me. I'm some sort of a terrible person for screaming, but she's not. Why is that? Now, with Miss Peaches, after Natalie disappeared, yeah, I got basically shoot out the door. Yeah, Sean, I'll help you. Just move on because my mom's pissed. Like, fuck, Miss Peaches. You know, that one night could have made all the difference in the world. Just one extra night at that place where I could sit down, collect all the evidence before 10,000 people got on to do more bullying and harassing and threatening of my life. Before more people had the opportunity to assault me. And I knew these things were going to happen. And I tried telling Miss Peaches this, but she was busy dispensing advice. A lot of people wanted to be complete dickheads to me because of how I reacted to so much abuse. But you need to take a look at the sheer quantity of it. I will never be allowed an honest day in court. I will be railroaded for the rest of my life, no matter what I do. Everything that I earn, everything that I have earned in my lifetime has been taken. Everything. And from here until the rest of my life, that'll continue to happen. Meanwhile, because people who are there in person get to tell their side of the story, but I don't get to tell mine, they automatically get to be the winners. Darren O'Connor, he wanted to have a major issue with the way that I talk to people. Well, with all due respect, I'm exposing the truth while you're being a little bitch. There's people like Betsy Prowl and David Prowl, who were also victimized by the Boulder Police Department. But instead of working together with me, Betsy, who was the one who was assaulted, ignored me for 8 months. While David wanted me to talk to him in person. I couldn't go to Boulder, obviously. When I go to Boulder, I get assaulted, I get threatened, I get harassed. So, I do my best to try to avoid Boulder, but still be able to see my loved ones. However, every time that I got railroaded in court, they get to use that in another court date. And at no point in time was I ever allowed to defend myself. At no point in time did my public pretenders actually care what it is that I was saying to them. At no point in time were my rights as a human being ever actually acknowledged. This is why I have been asking for someone to kill me for almost 4 years. October 18th of this month is my birthday. I got a court date in Wyoming on the 14th. That's my little sister's birthday. I'm not going to be able to make it to that appointment. I'm too broke. And that's been the problem all along. I need to find a safe place. A place safe from the police and a place safe from the public where I can sit down and do the things that I need to do. Literally, what I need is what it is in Chapel, Nebraska that I had just a month and a half, 2 months prior to when Natalie was killed. My own place, access to the internet, access to power outlets, the ability to work on it when I need to, when I'm capable, and the ability to step away. Locking me up in an institution or in a jail where I don't have access to that, where my public pretenders aren't going to do their jobs, so I have to do it for them, but without any of the resources that they have access to, without any of the basic resources required in order to do these things. Meanwhile, it was Shannon's shouting while I was there that prevented me from being able to do what it is that I needed to do. And it was her rules, because of someone else's shouting, that prevented me from doing those things. I wasn't allowed to make phone calls during the day there because she was afraid somebody would hear her daughter screaming and think that her daughter was being abused. No, her daughter's autistic. But the other part about that is I'm a nasty person for showing what it is that I've been through. I'm a nasty person for speaking the truth. People are fine with me showing the truth and speaking the truth until I speak the truth about them. And then they get all sorts of hateful. They get all sorts of spiteful. But the fact is, these people didn't keep their word. It doesn't matter if it's because you're an alcoholic. It doesn't matter if it's because you're addicted to drugs. What matters is you guys never should have had to do those things to begin with. I never should have had to go to strangers for help. I never should have had to go to my friends for help. I should have been able to go to the police. But you know what? You can't make the police do their jobs. Oh wait, yes you can. You absolutely can. By going in with them and recording the event, recording the names of the officers. In many of those occasions, I either A, didn't have the ability to record it, B, didn't know how to record it, C, had nobody go in with me. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to do? Then there's the no recording in the courtroom. Well, why not? The daily camera's allowed. All these other places are allowed to record in the courtroom, but I'm not. Miss Peaches isn't. Why aren't we? Why is it okay for the media? Why is it okay for the media to slander people's names? Why is it okay for the media to do these things? Why is it okay for the media to print only one side? And why is it that I was victimized non-stop since Natalie's death? I do mean non-stop because I have not been allowed what it is that I need in order to actually function, to do the things that you expect of me. I need the resources to do those things. And many of you who are already in houses, who are able to work, who have other people working with you in that household, you get to see them every day. They help you mentally to deal with all these things. Yet, somehow, I'm a bad person for not having these things. And when you guys do things that shut me down, I'm a bad person for saying it. No, this is a major issue. The United States victimizes the most easy to victimize people and then says it's okay. Refuse to take a look at the environment that I'm in. The environment that I was forced into. It's either hope that one of these people who gave their word will actually follow through, or just go out homeless and be victimized for the rest of my life because all of the evidence has been ignored, destroyed, or lost. I have been fighting for 3 years to show this evidence, to try to get the police to take a look, to try to get Alicia to take a look, to try to get JoJo to take a look, try to get someone to take a look and actually help. But no, it's, Sean, I'll help you if you come here. And I go there, and they don't help, and they have expectations from me, hoops that they expect me to jump through in exchange for the help that they promised, and at the end of the day, yeah, it wastes my time, it wastes my resources, and they still don't keep their word. I shouldn't have had to go to somebody as scatterbrained as Shannon Alvarado for help. I shouldn't have ever had to go to wingnuts like Kara Johnson, and Layla Johnson, aka Layla Dunan, aka Missy Johnson. I should have never had to go to these people. You pay taxes so that I can do the things that I need to. You pay taxes so that I can have access to those police, so that I can actually have a leg to stand on in court. Not be prevented from showing evidence and prevented from going to court. But then it's fine because I don't have the money for a civil lawyer, and I have to move from one abusive environment to another where I cannot function. And then I'm a terrible person for being disabled because, well, much like a man in a wheelchair who you expect to jump over hurdles, I'm not able to do what it is that you expect of me. It's a matter of resources. Now, I want you to imagine you got to sit down and do something like your taxes, all right? Now, let's imagine that you've got 2 screaming kids, which ain't too bad, but you've also got 2 screaming adults, one of whom is drunk and emotional and screaming and screaming and screaming. And you need to get these taxes done. You need to call people so that you can get help with, well, let's say getting your W-2s in. And you have to call these people while these other folks are screaming in the background, and then you can't make that phone call because they don't want you to make phone calls during normal business hours because they don't want anybody to hear any screaming. Meanwhile, when I fucking crack after a whole shit ton of that, and I fucking scream once, I'm the devil, right? You fucking morons.